My name is Mike. As an American college student, I was looking for a part-time job to make some extra money. But I never dreamed that job would turn out to be the biggest curse of my life. The place was called The Last Stop. If you drive north on Highway 93 after about 50 miles of deserted roads, you will find this gas station. The owner's name is Mr. Jacobs. On the day of the interview, he looked at me strangely, as if he were not offering me a job, but rather putting a scapegoat in a cage. The terms were simple: sit at the counter from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. But on the first night, Mr. Jacobs handed me an old, yellowed piece of paper. He said with a trembling voice, "Mike, you can do whatever you want with your customers, but you will never break these 5 rules. Never." I thought it was a joke, but after reading it, I got goosebumps. Rule number 1. If someone knocks on the glass door after midnight, but there is no car outside, don't open the door. Rule number 2. If you see a tall man standing in the corner looking at camera 3, turn off the monitor immediately. Don't look back for 10 minutes. Rule number 3. If you hear someone crying in the woods, put on headphones. That is not a person. Rule number 4. If the lights start flickering, hide under the counter. Don't come out until the refrigerator starts making noise again. Rule number 5. If a customer wants a pack of red Marlboros, tell them we have stopped selling. Whatever he offers, don't give it to him. I smiled and put the paper in my pocket. I thought the old man was just trying to scare me. 12:30 a.m. The first 2 hours were quiet. It was snowing heavily outside. Suddenly, the sensor rang. I looked up. There was someone standing on the other side of the glass door. But there were no cars in the parking lot. The man was wearing a torn raincoat. He knocked on the door. A cold shiver ran down my spine. Rule number 1. No car. Don't open. I gestured. It's closed. The man raised his head. His eyes were completely black, no whites, and he had a strange smile. Stretching to his earlobes, he knocked again. Loudly. I grabbed the phone to call the police. But there was no dial tone, just a strange, mechanical, raspy breathing on the other end. I looked at the door, and the man was gone. Vanished. I tried to calm down. Then my eyes went to the CCTV monitor. Camera 3. Someone was standing there. Tall, about 7 feet tall, facing the wall. My hands started shaking. Rule number 2. Turn off the monitor. I quickly switched it off. My heart was beating so hard. 10 minutes felt like 10 hours. When I turned it back on, no one was there. Only dust. But the most terrifying thing was yet to come. Suddenly, the light started flickering. And I heard it, crying. "Save me. Please take me inside. It's so cold." My humanity screamed at me to open the door. But rules number 3 and 4 were stuck in my head. I quickly crawled under the counter and curled up. I covered my ears. The crying slowly changed to laughter. A demonic, vicious laugh. "Mike, I know you're there. Mike." My blood ran cold. How does this thing know my name? Then, thud. Someone banged on the glass door. The whole store shook. I muttered the name of God. Suddenly, silence. Pinpoint silence. Then, the refrigerator compressor started. I lifted my head. No one was in the store, but outside on the glass. a human handprint. But that hand had 7 fingers. I was shaking. Just then, a black sedan pulled up. A gentleman in a suit walked in. He looked neat. He smiled. "Good evening, young man. It's been a tough night, hasn't it?" His voice was mechanical. He put a $100 bill on the counter and said, "I just need a pack of red Marlboros." My whole body went numb. The last rule. I swallowed and said, "Sir, we've stopped selling that." The man's smile faded. His face started to melt like wax. His eyes turned red. He hissed, "You're lying, Mike." He reached across the counter. His hand began to grow unnaturally long. I screamed and ran into the back room and locked the door. All night I heard scratching and that mechanical voice shouting, "Open the door. Don't break the rules. Open the door." I left after the sun came up. I drove straight onto the highway and never went back. But the problem is, I live in New York now, 1,000 miles away. Last night, I heard a noise at my apartment door. Tuck, tuck, tuck. And this morning I found a note under the door. It said, "Rule number 6. Even if you quit work, work doesn't quit you." We're coming, Mike. Now I'm afraid to look out the window, because I think that man in the raincoat is standing under the lamppost, looking at me. My name is Alex. I'm 28 years old. I work as a security guard at an old hospital in Chicago called St. Mary's General Hospital. It was built in the 1920s. There are many old wings that are now closed. I work the night shift, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. I'm alone most of the time. Only 1 nurse and 2 doctors are in the emergency room. The rest of the hospital is empty. Dark. Everything was fine for the first few months. Routine patrols, checking the corridors, locking the doors, watching the camera monitors. But last October, strange things started happening. One night, at 2:15 a.m., I was patrolling the East Wing. It was an old psychiatric ward, closed in the 1980s. The lights were low. A cold breeze was blowing in the corridors. Suddenly, there was static on my radio. Then, someone whispered, "Help, me." I thought maybe it was the intercom, but the voice was very clear. A girl's voice. Weak. I stopped. I looked around. No one. Just an old wheelchair and a dusty door. I turned on my headlamp and walked forward. The door to room 317 was open. As I entered, I saw an old hospital bed and a small doll lying on the bed. The doll was old. Its eyes were black. Its face was smiling, but I felt like the doll was looking at me. I picked it up. On the back was written, "Property of Emily R., 1974. I said into the radio, "There's no problem here," but my hands were shaking. The next night, same time again. This time, I heard footsteps on the floor, slowly, the sound of heels. I checked the monitor. There is nothing on the camera, but the sound was getting closer. I stood in the corridor. Suddenly, the sound stopped, right behind me. I turned. No one. But there was a small footprint on the floor, like a girl's shoe, in the dust. I told the doctors. They laughed. "That's an old building," they said, "the sound of pipes." But I don't know. The next week, things got worse. At 3:33 a.m., what many call the devil's hour, my phone rang. Unknown number. I picked up. No words, just the sound of breathing. Then, a girl said, "You shouldn't be here. After dark." I hung up, but the number was an extension of the hospital, room 317. I couldn't stay any longer. I went at 4 a.m. and entered room 317. As soon as I opened the door, a cold breeze blew in. I turned on the light inside. The bed was empty, but the doll was gone. Instead, there was an old photo on the floor. A little girl named Emily. Her eyes were marked with black. On the back it read, "She never left." Suddenly, the lights flickered. I looked back, a shadow in the corridor, a long, white dress. The girl is moving slowly. Her face is not visible. I run, but as soon as I enter the elevator, the doors close. It is dark inside. I can hear my heartbeat. Then, a hand on my shoulder, cold, like bone. I scream. The lights come on. No one, but a red mark on my shoulder. A fingerprint. The next day I checked the records. Emily R. died in this hospital in 1974, at the age of 12. Her mother left her here never to return. The girl died alone, and her doll was never found. I tried to quit my job, but when I went to sleep at night, I heard talk, talk, talk at my apartment door. And the scariest thing, last night I looked in the mirror. My eyes turned black, just like Emily's photo. I don't know how long it has been, but I can hear, "You shouldn't be here after dark." And now, she's inside me.